And we're live! All right, okay, cool. How's everyone doing? Thanks for your patience. I know that there was some technical difficulties. I needed to do some things with my computer. But we really appreciate you all hanging in there for our final stream of the year. Oh my gosh, it's already end of 2022. It feels like it was just last year. But we're really happy to have you all here. This is a particularly good uh, special stream because we have another limited time event coming to you. Um, and it came to you pretty fast because money just wrapped up not that long ago. So we hope you're all really excited like we are. It's going to be a great one. This one's very near and dear to both mine and Lori's hearts. So to kick things off, we'll introduce ourselves for anyone who doesn't know who we are. Lori, why don't you start as our guest?
Hi, yeah, I'm a writer and director on this project, hoppingfun.com. You could find out what else I've made. Lots and lots of stuff in games and books and magazines and all kinds of stuff. Happy to be here.
We're happy to
And
have you.
and Laura, you also wrote the Extinction event. So if you're a big fan of the Extinction event, which is one of my favorites, we also the writer for that one. My name's Andrew Garahan, also known as Lunch in the Discord server, and I'm the head game designer at Computer Lunch. And also did a lot of work on the Pollinator event. So I'm really excited to share it with you. And as Emily mentioned, yeah, we did get this one out really quick. We wanted to get our 6th event out before the end of the year, so we've been sprinting to finish it, and we hope you really like it. So yeah, we're gonna tell you all about it.
Yeah, I'm really excited. But for anyone who doesn't know who I am, hi, I'm Emily. I manage all the social content that goes out. I do like lots of marketing stuff. So if you like the seeing like the splash screen, like marketing ads for the limited time events that go out, I do that. And I also just I produce the live streams. So happy to have you here as always. It's always good to see you in the chat. And for anyone who is new to the live streams, you can ask questions in the chat, but we usually ask you to save those for the end of the stream for our Q&A session because it's easiest for us to go through all the questions then. Um, but without further ado, I think we're going to kick some things off here with what we've been working on in terms of this new limited time event. So if you're a Cells fan, you know that our most recent limited time event was Money and the price of trust and learning about how money and trust kind of go hand in hand. Um, oh, oops. Sorry about that. Still getting over the technical difficulties here. Um, but to kick
This
things
one.
off, if you're a beta tester, you definitely know what it is. If you've been paying attention a little bit on some social channels and like getting the inside scoop, you might know. But here we go. Officially announced. It's our co-evolution love story event. It's about pollination, the relationship between bees and flowers, but not just bees. There's all different kinds of pollinators out there, and you'll learn about it in this event. It's also up in the game right now, so if you've logged into your game, which hopefully you have, you'll see that there's a countdown, and this event will be available in a few days.
Yeah, the event's gonna go live next week, next Wednesday at noon. Um, yeah, and this is our marketing graphic for it, the poster that Emily created. But yeah, it's titled A Co-Evolution Love Story. So this is a little bit about the story of bees and flowers and their evolution.
And
And how they help each other. That's why it's a love story. They're helping each other
And
with
it
all
is
the.
and it is a little it's a little strange of a topic, I think, for the end of the year. This would be the perfect topic for Valentine's Day, probably, or spring. But again, we were like, we got to get the 6th event out before the end of the year. And this topic we were really excited about. And we actually been working on it for about 4 months. I think we've been working on it in the background. But yeah, I think it's gonna uh round out the collection of the 6 events really nicely.
I think it's a nice one for the holiday spirit, you know? It's uplifting.
it's
It's a
feel
it's a
good.
it's a feel-good story.
The winter romance.
Win-win. Win-win winter romance.
Yeah,
Yes.
have you not seen like all of the Christmas movies where it's like the Hallmark Channel and it's all about finding love?
So we're end of the year holiday Hallmark event. No, this one's good. It's got great themes, and it's got some treachery and
Just
kidnapping, even murder in it, Lori.
murder,
So
kidnapping.
yeah,
Yeah, there's some drama here too. Yeah.
Not the bees. For anyone who, oh, well, yes, it is about pollination, as we've just discussed. Um, there's a lot of intricacies in this one, and you'll see it in the gameplay, which we're going to be showing you very shortly. Um, but this one is very special, I think, at least in my opinion, compared to the other ones, because you get to play it in a narrative, which I feel like has been a challenging goal that we've always like toyed with a little bit, but I feel like we've gotten really close with this one, and it feels really fun. So I highly recommend read all the traits. I know not everyone does, but the writing is especially great in this one. At least it's my favorite. So check it out when you're playing. Read along. It's like reading a story. Um,
Yeah, and some surprises in there too. Some things you that surprised me when I was researching it. So lots of fun stuff in the tooltips.
for sure. Yeah. And it's available to play starting on November 21st. So right before we're all snuggling in for the holidays, before the end of the year, and we're getting ready to all spend time with our families, have some time off, hopefully. So make sure that you update your games. We'll uh, mention why that's extra important this time around before we dive into the gameplay. But right now, we're just letting you know when it's available. From the 21st to the 28th, you'll be able to play. We extended a little bit extra time this time around than our usual events because it's the holiday season and we want you to be able to enjoy it to the fullest extent. Um, I know that some players haven't been able to complete all of the events, so there's a couple extra days tacked on there for you, so hopefully you're able to get all 3 badges.
yeah. This one's for whenever we do a premiere of the initial event, we like to run it a little longer. Oh, that also reminds me, if you are around on the 21st when we launch the event, the development team is going to be hanging out in the Discord. We're going to be playing the event with you guys. So if you want to hop into the Discord, we'll have a stream going and you can ask us questions and just play with us on the launch. So that'll be next week, Wednesday at noon. So
That'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing everyone in there. I'm sure a lot of you are already on the Discord channel, but if you're not, please join. We'd love to have you. Um, any and all fans are welcome to join our official Discord server. I know we have our moderator in the chat, so whenever you can drop the invite link in there, that would be awesome. Um, Also, just a quick note before we dive in. I know a lot of people are also really big fans of like our artifacts and our logic prizes. Unfortunately, in order to get this out in time, we weren't able to add anything new to the store, except for a couple audio packages, which we'll show you
yeah.
when we're playing. But the artifacts will be added in at a later date.
Yeah, if you update to the newest version, you'll see there are like 3 new audio packs. And the idea of this is we're trying to figure out ways to like customize the game a little bit. So these let you choose different sound effects for like instead of the tapping sound sounding like a normal tapping sound, it could sound like a retro arcade game or kind of more like Saturday morning cartoon vibe, or even like animal sounds. So this is just kind of a fun thing that lets you um, change the vibe a little bit.
Yeah, so there's still a little something for everyone. There's still something fun to redeem. So hang tight in the meantime while waiting on the really good pollination artifact. Um,
Let's
and also just a quick reminder to anyone who doesn't know, this event is only available to players who have updated to the latest version. So if you haven't updated to the latest version of your game, your chances are, and if you're on mobile, chances are you're going to end up playing the web event. There will be a notification in the game uh, directing you to update. But if you don't want to for some reason, the web event is available for you to play.
just make sure to update.
Yes.
So if players were around, I don't know if anyone in the chat was playing, but we had an outage like earlier this week where for 2 hours the game was like crashed. So this was like this strange bug that was messing up everyone's game, and it had to do with us trying to release the pollen event or start promoting it. So we had to do some things behind the background with our programming to prevent it. But it does mean we need players to update so they can see the new event.
Yeah. So if you want to play it, please update to the latest version. We worked really hard on it, and we want to share it with all of our players. So we highly recommend it. Please. All right.
Great. Well, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's see this.
Let's jump straight into the gameplay, shall we? This is what you'll be missing out if you don't update. So here we go.
This is new. Meet the characters.
Yeah.
Let's meet them.
It's a story. Here come the characters.
And we're earning a new current. We're earning pollen here, which is what is pollen, Lori? That's like it's like the sperm of flowers. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's a capsule that contains the male sperm of flowers. Yeah, little capsules, dust size capsules. And
ooh.
So here we're meeting the characters.
There we go.
So the first character, flowers.
Very dramatic. And here we're going to learn that flowers are all about making seeds. That's all they want. That's all they want to do is make seeds.
Yeah, I love that that's the first sentence right off the bat. Flowers have one driving desire, to make seeds.
That's it. And they got to do that with resource management. There's their game strategy. How much do they put into making the pollen, making the nectar, making themselves big and showy to attract pollinators? They got some strategy.
And now the second main character in this love story is bees.
Bees. What do bees want? Bees have a different strategy, have a different need. We're going to find out. And so we have two game strategies going on with this. And you'll notice a brand new kind of generator, which we've never used before in the live events, coming up. If you've played the dinosaurs and the Beyond, you'll recognize it. But there's a really specific reason we chose this, and that's because with bees, they're all about efficiency. Bees need to feed. Bees need to figure out how to gather all that pollen the most efficient way possible without spending too much energy gathering that energy. So if you're a speedrunner of cells, you're going to love the bees because that's what they do. They have tools and body parts and strategies for maximizing their pollen gain, which they have to go out and get and bring back to the nest to feed their young, and eating nectar, drinking nectar along the way to fuel their flight. So that strategy, basically, we have two different strategies. So we're always earning pollen. Both flowers and bees are being fueled by pollen, but they're helping each other. You'll notice you can use the pollen to buy either flowers or bees, and that's going to carry through the whole tree. And that strategy, playing one off the other, mimics what's happening here with the evolution, the coevolution. It's a coevolution love story of this plant and this animal. You have two kingdoms getting together here, helping each other evolve.
Yeah, you can already see right off the bat how unique the gameplay is and how it's already diverging into two separate trees almost.
Two trunks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I apologize for my slow tapping. I'm working with a trackpad here.
Because this event is kind of like, because it's two kingdoms, I guess, or two species, you said. So it actually is almost like two independent trees that grow separately, and
escalate, help each other escalate. So you notice the progress bar, right? Everybody who has played the dinosaurs and the Beyond will recognize that the bees are working for their pollen, and when they're off working, they're not cashing in on the pollen. So you have to wait for that generator to get to the top before it pays out. And that strategy, mixed with the passive generator of the flowers, is what makes this really interesting as a game and different, brand new. We have not done this before in a live event. It was really tricky. Anna Maria, our gameplay programmer, worked really, really hard to get these to work together at the same time. And the strategy, you have a couple choices of strategy. How much do you put in the flowers? How much do you put in the bees? If you like to do math in your head, you're going to love this game because you got to figure out, factor in the timing. The bees don't pay out until they pay out, but they pay out big. So there's a lot of strategy in this game.
For sure. I think this one probably might be one of the most strategy heavy events that we've done so far, in addition to Extinction.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Which was tricky in its own way. And what a difference in topic. I have to say, after writing Extinction and then coming to this, quite a difference in mood and feeling for this game.
now, now, Lori, we talked a lot about how do we make the story of the flowers, story of the bees, like unique. I think earlier on in development, we were talking about two different currencies. I think we
Mhm.
described maybe one would be a pollen currency, and another would be like
Nectar or
seed
honey.
seed currency. I think it was.
Yeah.
But we ended up going with just one currency, but then we used gameplay to separate their storytelling. Um, why did we come to that decision, or like what was our thinking there?
Benefit there with just having pollen is it again, it echoes what's happening in nature here, which is pollen's driving everything in this evolution. It's the manufactured distribution of pollen that drives the entire evolutionary tree here. And so with your pollen, because you can go to flowers or you can go to bees and back and forth, it mimics what's happening in evolution, which is that these two uh, life forms, this plant and this animal, are helping each other, are pushing each other to evolve. So you can put it all in bees and then put some more in flowers and put it all in bees, but it's all growing the tree. It's a love story. It's a win-win. And so the idea behind using one currency is they help each other. There is competition in here. It's coming up pretty soon, actually. The bees are competing against other pollinators to get the pollen, and the flowers are competing against other flowers to attract the pollinators. So in the middle section here, that's coming up, here they're still evolving. You're going to see a lot more of that kind of treachery and deceit and kind of uh, strategy of each of these life forms to try and further their goal. Again, flowers are about making seeds, and the bees just need to feed. They need to feed efficiently. They're all
So now
about it.
now we're at primitive flowers. So what what the hell what are we looking at here? Like what is
These are
this?
the
This is a primitive
microscopic
flower?
pollen grains, microscopic pollen grains, all the different shapes of pollen. And here they are. You've got a pink background, which suggests something.
Maybe we're inside, we're like looking at a microscopic something.
Yeah, and that's going to become apparent really soon. And look how cool they look. I mean, there's a form and function to all of them.
And are these
They're all
and
different.
why do they look different? I actually never asked when we were developing, but like are these actual based on different shapes of
Different
different
types
types
of
of
pollen
pollen
grains.
or
Because pollen has different kinds of ways of spreading, either
Mhm.
by the wind or by animals or by um, just, physical moving them. So they're designed specifically for whatever way it is that they need to move, however they need to move. So if they need to latch onto things, you see all those little spiky things, those are sticky. They're going to latch onto things very easily. Other pollen grains need to disperse and not be so latchy. They need to be smooth and they need to just kind of roll over things. So you see form and function,
and
really
what
basic
and what
biology.
is pollen again? Because like specifically it's basically like the sperm of the flower or
Yeah.
it's not the egg though, it's the
No, so it's a capsule. So what you're seeing on the outside there is a capsule, and inside there is the sperm. And the sperm, if it lands on an ova, which is an egg, a flower egg on top of a stigma, if it lands on that, then you get fertilization. It's the same process that happens. That's how life is fertilized. And you get a seed. So a seed grows from that. And basically, what a definition of a flower, as you find in primitive flowers here, if you can see that tooltip, is that the flower basically has its eggs inside an ovary, inside a capsule. It's hidden. And what that does is if you've ever had fruit, if you ever eat fruit, that's essentially what a fruit is. It's a seed inside, that's developed, and the fruit is all around it, and nuts as well. The nuts is a shell around that. So basically what's happening here is you're just trying to get this pollen onto ova. That's it. That's what the flower's trying to do. But it can't move. The flowers are stuck in place, so they got to figure out how to get their pollen out there. And before flowers evolved, it was all done by the wind. It was all wind pollinated. So
so
you
the
just disperse this pollen, and who knows where it's going to land, and it's just lots and lots of it. If you've ever been in a springtime pollen phase, clouds and clouds of this yellow green pollen all over the place, that's the wind pollinated plants. But the flowers figured out a better way, a much, much better way, much more efficient way. And what's really cool about this is the Cretaceous period. So if you're playing the Mesozoic Valley and you're picturing all those dinosaurs, And it's in the Triassic, you have no flowers at all. You just have these wind pollinated gymnosperms. They look like palm trees, they look like conifers, they look like pine trees. It's not until the early Cretaceous that you get the very first flowers. And amongst all those dinosaurs, it's a warm climate, it's tropical, they're flourishing. And then all of a sudden, by the end of the Cretaceous, they've taken over. 80% of our plants now are flowering plants,
So the,
angiosperm.
so these primitive flowers, so they could use wind to get their pollen to other flowers to mate. But
They
you said there's
could.
another way. So I see this vegetarian wasp node here. So who is this vegetarian wasp, and like what's
So
the
everybody, I didn't know this when I first started this. Where do bees come from? How did bees evolve? And both bees and ants evolved from wasps. I did not know that. Wasps are predators, and they have to go out and they have to kill things and haul the carcass back to the young for the young to feed. And and this vegetarian wasp figured out all this pollen's out there. It's protein. Pollen is basically very rich in protein. Figured out it could just go gather this pollen and bring the pollen back. A lot easier. You don't have to kill anything. You have to drag a carcass back and feed your young. And so as this vegetarian wasp more and more just began to collect pollen, body changed on the plant diet. All of a sudden it was on a plant diet. And it's amazing because this is again in the Cretaceous period. You got to picture all those dinosaurs. This is all happening when this is the whole world is just full of dinosaurs and tropical forests. And what's really cool about that is the very first bees. They look a little wasp-like, but very quickly, their bodies change, dramatic ways. And that's like this next section. This is what blew me away more than anything in the research, is how many little tiny tools and adjustments and uh, little just precise instruments these little bees have that evolved specifically for gathering pollen. It's shocking. um, 17 interlocking mouth parts. That's my favorite note in this whole thing, with their grinders and spatulas and cutters and all these little tools in this little tiny mouth at a microscopic level. 17 of them just
yeah.
to eat and gather
All
pollen.
right, we're oh sorry. Yeah, the nose there. Okay, we're zooming ahead now. Okay, good. Let's see. Because we got to see this vegetarian wasp. Um,
Oh,
Evolve.
yeah, let's see. Oh, it's so expensive. I think we got to buy everything else first.
Yeah, you gotta go
We
through the plant evolution
hung,
first.
well,
we get the hungry beetle.
this is one of my favorite things about this whole exploration. The fact that if like this is why I'm so insistent about like you have to read the tooltips. There are basically like partner trait nodes. So with the hungry beetle, it hasn't showed up yet, but oh, it pairs really well with the showy magnolia, and if you read the tooltip, you'll understand why.
So the idea is you're going from the point of view of the bee to the point of view of the flower, back to the bee, back to the flower. And that's how coevolution works. So with the vegetarian wasp, as it starts eating pollen, the plants figure out, well, it can attract more pollinators. So how can it attract more pollinators? It can start offering some nectar, which bees love. In fact, the name for bee pollinated things is sweet loving animal that goes and collects pollen.
Oh,
So yeah, they love sweet. Bees love sweet. So the nectar, just producing nectar. The plant doesn't need the nectar for anything else. It's kind of like an extra. So one of the strategies, do you produce nectar to attract pollinators, or do you use that energy to produce more pollen? And plants vary in which strategies they use. So there's lots of strategy in here. Even between some of these duets, these little nodes that go from bee to flower, you'll see strategy talked about. One of the choices that flowers make is, do you attract all the pollinators and many different kind of pollinators as you can, or do you just focus in on one type of pollinator and make yourself the most attractive you possibly can to that one pollinator? And there are pluses and minuses to both of those strategies. And flowers do, have a whole range in there of how they attract pollinators. It's amazing.
I'll probably have to do another time flux
yeah.
in a
Let's do it.
moment.
Let's see. We got to see the
Well,
first part of the bee thing.
before we do that, I just wanted to show everyone really quick what the new Logic prizes are. Um, I can't play it through the sound, unfortunately. But when you purchase your own pack, you can play it yourself. I Do we have like a sample for them or anything so you can hear it before you buy it?
Not yet. That's something we need to add. So when you click on it, it would play one effect. But
Mm.
we had the sound effects person who has done most of the sound effects for the entire game. We asked them to come up with alternative sounds for all the major interaction things, like selecting nodes, buying, selecting something on the UI when pop-up panels come up. So there's like 8 different sound effects that we created with different themes. So we have a retro arcade sound pack, which sounds like a little more like a Atari kind of vibe. Then we have the farm animal sound, which is, I think there's like barking dogs when you tap, and it is like pigs and stuff. So
And a duck.
this one's kind of wacky. And then, yep, and ducks, yeah. And then the cartoon sound effect. This one, I guess, is more like an American Saturday morning cartoon show, or there's a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. It's kind of an older cartoon vibe, but it's got some like balloon sounds and like clown kind of stuff. But these are mostly just to get a little creative. And we're actually still working on them a little bit. So if you have a favorite one, let us know.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
we'll be making a poll on our Discord or on our social channels to see which ones you like the most.
and since we're talking about Logits, I just want to we don't have a Logits prize specifically for the pollinator event yet. And there's a lot of great ideas for that. So we know we want to get bumblebees and flowers on the main tree. Both of those sections of the evolution tree are so large that we need a little more time to think about how we want to implement them. But we are definitely going to get some Logit prizes around bees and flowers in the future. We also want to get some cosmetics. I think Ryan said he wanted to put like a beekeeper thing somewhere in the garden. I also think like nanobot bees suit would look neat. So we're hoping to get that hopefully by February before Valentine's Day. But that's currently not in there yet. Okay. Oh, great. Now we got the primitive bees. Now we can see the second half of this tree here.
This might be my favorite stage in the garden so far.
This is a big reveal. This is amazing. And Ryan and Kati and everybody who worked on this garden, it's pretty spectacular. It just gets better and better throughout the game. So there you go. Look at this. Now we've gone from micro to macro view. You can still see the little pollens in there, the little dots now.
So previously we were in the kind of deep in the flower, but now we've zoomed out to
Right.
like insect level, and now we're seeing the bee here.
So when you see the pollen is on those little rust-colored anthers there, this little whorl of anthers that are around the center. And the center is the stigma. That's where the ova is. That's where the egg is. Um, the stigma grabs the pollen and drops it down into the ovary, and where it fertilizes the seeds.
I feel a little bit like a third wheel.
That's coming up. The third wheel's coming up.
Well,
Um,
we're hitting a good place where I don't want to spoil too much for our players. So, do we want to keep showing a little bit more,
Let's
or
do what we also did Johnson, Oregon, since that's like so weird. So you'll learn a lot. There's like, as Lori was talking about, there's all these different tools that the bees have, and this one was crazy. So this one allows, I guess, bees to collect pollen on
it's
their.
about flight.
No, I'm wrong. What?
Flight,
Yeah, what did this
yeah,
one, Lori?
flight is really, really key, crucial. The fact that insects are the only things that can fly around at all for tens of millions of years, they rule the skies, and so they end up collecting all this pollen easily and better, but they're tiny. So a tiny bee flying in the air is like it's gnarly ocean waves. If there's any kind of wind at all, or rain or snow, they have a lot of trouble with that. So they developed on their antenna this little sensor that senses vibrations that are physical vibrations that are not like sound or not like gravity, something falling, but unusual vibrations, and it stabilizes the bee in flight. Crucial. It's crucial for a bee that's collecting pollen, going flower to flower on a windy day. So anytime you see a bee flying around on a windy day, you know that's got that special sensor stabilizing it, which is really cool. Without that, it would be really difficult.
Should we try to get the first badge? It looks like you got the first
oh
badge
yeah,
mission. You just need 10 more primitive bees.
of course, yeah. All
Let's
right.
see if we can. We might have
I
enough money.
I
Oh
think we
no,
can do it.
we gotta work.
Thanks, Time Flux. Let's see what that
Okay,
first
great, great,
badge
great. Okay,
is.
so this is the first badge of the 3 badges. Um,
Love story.
got a heart.
Hmm,
Beautiful.
there we go.
Sweet symbiosis. Flowers and bees intertwine their lives for mutual benefit, a symbiotic relationship. But where will this love story go next?
Hmm. There's some drama. The drama's coming up. We shouldn't show the drama. We should save the drama.
Yeah. We gotta keep you on the edge of your seats a little
Yeah.
bit, but
So
this
yeah,
is
this
not
looks
a
good.
little.
I think that's a good amount. But you'll notice it's kind of split in two. So there's this plant side and then the bee side on the other part of the tree, and we're telling these two stories and how they interweave.
Mhm.
It's a really fun story, and if you're looking for something feel good to play before the end of the year, you gotta check it out.
Okay.
All right, thank you everyone for looking at the gameplay a little bit ahead of time. You're our exclusive viewers for this content before it goes live
Yeah,
on the 21st.
yeah. So yeah, get ready to play that next week, right before Christmas, next Wednesday at noon. And our team will be, if you're on our Discord, our team will be live streaming it and playing with you guys when it starts, so you can ask us questions that time.
Yeah.
Mhm. Looking forward to that.
And then our team is taking a break. So our development team is taking off 2 weeks after this thing, and we're out of here. We're all going on vacation for a little while.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of work, a lot of hard work putting this together. This is a great team. I love this team.
We also want to thank all the beta testers that have been playing it. So like the money event was really hard to finish. I think we did 6 rounds of beta testing for that. So thank you, beta testers, for helping play that again and again. Some people were surprised that we had a new event so quickly. We'd actually been working on this one parallel, so it was pretty far along before we showed it first in the beta. But it still was, we were sprinting to finish it. So thank you all very much for helping playtest that. And you guys have to play it again and again, but each time you play it, it refines it a little bit more. So when we do the public release, it's all the more perfect for those players next week. So thank you, beta testers.
I agree. Yeah, our beta testers help run our game like a well-oiled machine. Without your feedback, it wouldn't be running as smoothly. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We really can't thank you
Yeah,
all enough.
Without a
and
great
we're always
support.
reading the beta channel, even if we're not there responding. We do see what you say. So those little comments, we do see. Like, I think the nano. There's some problem with the nanobots. There's always like little things. So we thank you for sharing your thoughts in there. And if you want to learn more about joining the beta, if you're not in there, just join the Discord. There's a beta channel. You can find out when we do the beta releases and how to get in on that.
Awesome. Well, that wraps up what is planned so far for Pollinators, or our co-evolution love story live event. So be sure to check it out on the 21st, update your games, and we hope you have fun with it. Let us know what you think in our Discord and on our social posts. We're going to be all over the place, so we're excited to hear what you think. But in addition to that, if you're not already on our Discord, we actually have a really fun event planned for which we'll be launching, I believe, today. Um, I think Aditya Armad, if you could just confirm with me real quick in the chat if you're there. We're going to be doing a Discord exclusive contest called Team Plant versus Team Insect. I know we have a lot of players who have always asked us if we were going to be doing a plant or an insect update. So this is a chance to really flex your appreciation for either side. Um, are you a plant or an insect lover? Team arthropod or team uh, chloroplasts? um, but this is actually going to be, in addition to not just picking your favorite side, the point of this contest is that you're going to be making what you want to see from that topic on the main tree. Like, we also have a lot of players who make their own versions of what a branch would look like on the main tree that doesn't exist. So this is a chance for plant lovers, what would plants look like on the main tree, or insect lovers, what would it look like on the main tree. You can draft it out however you want. You can draw it, you can just do something quick in Microsoft Paint. Um, Literally anything that you could do it in a notebook, a ruled notebook. Uh, the sky's the limit. We just wanted to see what you would want as players. And uh, the prizes are going to be pretty fun. Rather than being pitted against each other, but there'll still be some good competition throughout the whole contest. There'll be 2 winners on each side. So we're going to pick 2 winners from Team Plant and 2 winners from Team Insect. So everyone's a winner, working side by side, like in the spirit of our live event that's coming out. And the prizes are going to include a 3-month subscription for Discord Nitro for our first place winners on each side, and a 1-month Discord Nitro subscription for our second place winners on each side. So, best of luck to everyone who enters. We can't wait to see your submissions as we keep thinking about insects and plants and how they'll be affecting the simulation as a whole.
Yeah, this is a great contest. Even though we're running bees now, and I think this contest lasts about a month. Someone asked in the chat, are we going to be doing updates to the main simulation? And yeah, that's actually our focus for the beginning of next year. We're going to be spending time updating the civilization garden, but we might also be adding a few more animals or even species to the evolution tree. So it'll be really cool to hear your ideas about what we should do with insects and plants, because we have a lot of ideas ourselves. Now that we've spent the entire year making these in-game events, which have turned out great, and we've had a lot of fun exploring them, we do know that the main simulation needs some love. So we're going to be shifting some of our energy towards that, and getting plants and insects on the tree are a goal of mine.
Yeah, I think it's been a goal for the whole team. Like, it's always been ruminating in our heads for at least the past year, because we get a lot of suggestions from all of you, and we always do our best to keep your suggestions in mind. We're also aware of everyone asking for a geological update of some kind with rocks, and yeah, I mean, we're always listening to your input, and during the Q&A session, we're going to be asking you what kinds of topics you like and that kind of stuff, and the live events have been a lot of fun to make, so if we do another round or something, we're always just keeping your ideas in mind. So this contest is also a great way for us to hear what you're excited about with plants and insects, and will help influence how we research. So get cracking on those trees, everybody.
All right.
Awesome. And also, I know there's been some talk about the roadmap. We haven't updated the roadmap internally yet.
But roadmap's a tree, yeah. So we're cheating here. Like, so we haven't updated our roadmap in a while, but sometimes players actually update it for us, and we thank you for that. So EB did this version. Another person did a great version too, but this kind of showcases all the things we accomplished this year. Emily, what did we want to do? Do we want to just go through the things, or?
Well, I think we, for one, I just want to give a shout out to Ebby or EB. We really appreciate this. This is really cool, and it shows us how much our players really love seeing our progress just as much as we do. It's really cool knowing that our players are looking at the roadmap and want to stay updated, because we want to keep that communication flowing. So we have done philosophy and the extinction event. They even added stuff in here that in our most recent roadmap edition we weren't originally planning on doing, or we didn't account for, like the dodo ghost hunt. So thank you for expanding upon the roadmap even. We've accomplished a lot this year, and we're kind of rolling into our retrospective now, where we're just reflecting on what 2022 has been like for us. And yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, this is great. So maybe we might even update it next week with these things we completed.
Yeah.
These are cool.
It is a priority for us. We want to update it ourselves, but this is just a shout out to our community and to Ebby as well for keeping posted. We really appreciate it.
great in the beta channel too. Lots of great suggestions.
I think my favorite event this year, I think Extinction is probably the coolest one.
Yay.
Pollination, I have to wait. We have to wait until it comes out and see how everyone likes it. Because if everyone's like, "Oh, Pollination is my favorite," then I might say Pollination is my favorite. But I want to see what the popular choice is.
I think it's been really cool to see all the gameplay mechanics progress and mature over the course of the all of the explorations that we've done. I know our team has gotten more ambitious with it, but I think it's really paid off, and I hope our players appreciate the effort that we've taken to up the ante each time.
Yeah. For me, I am new to the team, so Extinction was the first thing I worked on with this great team. I'm so happy to be here, and I've been a science writer for decades, and this is the first time I think I've had a dedicated video game project about science and about evolution and about all these great topics. So for me, I'm looking forward to next year. Give me a topic, I want to just run with it. It's going to be so fun.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see what we do.
I agree. I think we've accomplished a lot this year. I'm really proud of the whole team. All right. Well, I guess that pretty much concludes our retrospective. Like we've accomplished a lot, um, and we're also accomplishing right now just based on our fashion choices today. Oh my, so beautiful! Look at our lovely, ugly Christmas sweaters.
That sweater.
It's like we planned it or something. Wait, but we did. We're gonna have an ugly sweater competition real quick right now before we get to our Darwinium code. And guess what? You guys in the chat, you are our judges. So you get to vote for your favorite ugly sweater. We'll show them off a little bit for you, do like a catwalk as much as we can within our confined trait borders. So Andrew, why don't you kick things off since you're first in the lineup? Show us your ugly sweater.
My sweater is it's blue. It's got penguins here, so
very festive.
There we go. Yeah, it's like each penguin is like hanging out. This one's got a tie on it.
Beautiful.
He's like working. He's like get to work.
The one with the earmuffs is particularly cute. All right, Lori, your turn.
It's the best I could do. It's about flowers, right? It's about flowers. I know it's not Christmassy, but the colors are. The colors are Christmassy.
I love it. I think it's perfect. I think it suits this stream the best.
It's thematic. Yeah.
Incredibly.
It's also warm. I'm in Michigan, so I'm happy to have a warm sweater on right now.
Oh, nice. It's getting pretty cold in New York as well. This sweater is treating me well. Oh, sorry. I can't really stand up, so I'll just show what I can. But yeah, I picked this up on my honeymoon in Colorado.
Yeah, see, oh, there we go. Yeah, stand up. Yeah, there.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I got like a little like red house, and there's also like a squirrel on the bottom, and I can't really show it that well, but there's like a man in a canoe on the bottom.
Man in a canoe.
I didn't know what it was at first. I really had to squint to see it, but I couldn't not get this sweater because of the squirrel. So yeah, if anyone who's in the chat, if you want to vote for your favorite, let us know. It's all in good fun. Winner gets to feel good about having the ugliest sweater of them all.
All right, Emily's got 3 votes.
Oh yeah.
Votes for my penguins.
Good job. Can't beat a guy in a canoe on a Christmas sweater. That's just.
Well, I think you have my vote, Lori. I really love the flowers. I think it's totally on point.
Thanks, Demon Lord. Thanks, Sam.
Nice.
Is it ugly or like are we? It's like also best sweater for the occasion, also or ugly sweater.
It's all in good fun.
Yeah, penguins are cute though.
Yeah, I think they're all good. We've all coordinated very well.
Thanks, Cheesehead. Oh, Lori got a vote.
I got a vote.
Woo! Thank you for your votes, everybody. Happy holidays, by the way. I don't think we even said happy holidays.
Thanks, Jerry Human. No, I can't say your name.
All right. You all have been very patient, so uh, we'll roll into our Darwinium code. This one's for 25 cubes to kick things off into the new year the right way. Um, does. Oh, ugly sweater goes to me. Oh, I think my sweater's cute. It's ugly in a cute way. Maybe? Does anyone want to guess what the Darwinium code is for this stream? I'll give you a hint. Good vibes? Like new and improved year. Let's get into this. It's a little difficult to guess because it's kind of random. I'm trying to
I don't think. I
I'm
don't think
trying
it
to
was.
I'm trying to make it harder to guess.
Okay. Well, we want. So we need people to update their games. So it's around that topic,
It's not related to pollinators.
not related to pollinators. Because we had a bug earlier this week, so we want to encourage everyone to update their games, but it's not update.
But also, I could say that the
Or
topic
reboot.
of
That's a good guess. Yeah.
Get
the,
closer.
the topic of this event is rather, here we go, refreshing. No?
Refresh. We have to refresh. We're gonna refresh the new year. We're gonna refresh
Update your game.
and then refresh our games by updating them. So that code is refresh, and it's 20 cubes for Android and Steam players. So just
25 cubes.
yeah. Oh,
Yes.
25 cubes. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Happy holidays.
All these guys.
New year, new good vibes going into 2023. Let's do it. You got this. We're all going to bring our best.
Mhm.
Also, please update your games. And if you have any friends who play cells, tell them to update their games.
Yeah, refresh is the code. All capitalization. Refresh.
All caps, no spaces. It's easy to redeem in Android and Steam, but if you are an iOS player, unfortunately, it's a little harder. If you have access to Steam, you can use our cloud transfer save system to transfer it back and forth, but unfortunately, we still don't have a system in place to have iOS players redeem that code directly.
To redeem on Steam, it's just in the hamburger options menu, and it says redeem code, and you type the code in there.
Yeah, and you scroll down towards the bottom.
Aren't you glad we didn't make you spell symbiosis?
That would have been a good one.
Yeah,
Oh man, now I'm regretting my choices.
I'm the one that made you spell apocalypse, so that was the last code we had.
That would have been a good one, though.
And if you're coming into the stream now and missed part of it, we do repost it on our YouTube channel, so keep an eye out for a link for that. We always try to repost them, but it'll also be on Twitch for like a few weeks.
We're rolling into our Q&A session now. We have a few minutes before it's the end of the stream, and thank you again for everyone who was waiting for us to go live at 1, and we had technical difficulties. We really appreciate your patience and understanding of technical things going on. So here we are. If you have any questions, please let us know in the chat. We're always happy to see what kinds of questions you have and suggestions as well. As I said before, if you have ideas for topics that you really want to see be represented in the game, this is a great way to let us know. All of our eyeballs are on the chat right now, so ask away and suggest away.
Yeah, we'd love to hear people's ideas.
I had a suggestion
suggestions for those.
for type and speech, which is printing and/or language. I think that was one early suggestion that's already come in.
One question. Do you have intentions for future events in 2023? So we are overall the events went really well. It was fun to explore a lot of diverse topics, and it gave our team a lot of freedom to experiment with some different gameplay. So we feel like overall is a big success there. We do need to come back to the main game and add a lot of content to that. On our roadmap, where the civilization gardens are going to get improved. Like, it's so funny how good some of the graphics look in these events, whereas our main our main game's Civilization Garden is quite very basic, to say the least. So it's time for like a renovation on that. But along with renovating the main Civilization Garden, we also want to use this as an opportunity to really do some major overhauls in the main simulation, adding some of the other animals we described, like maybe plants and insects. We'd love to get those on the tree. I think amphibians. But then not only adding stuff to the main tree, we actually want to really tune the game. For new players that come into Zelda Singularity, you can actually beat a lot of the main content for the main tree in about 6 weeks. You can get all the reality engine upgrades. So we actually are going to look at that main tree and see how we can better tune it. So there's always something that you're grinding towards. One goal for me next year is like, there's always one new item where players are grinding, even late game players, that they can go for, whether it's one more animal or civilization upgrade or another reality engine upgrade. So there's always some main game content that has not been completed. That's kind of a big goal for next year. And then on the side of that, the events, we have so many good ideas for new events, and I'm sure you guys also have great ideas. So there's no drought of ideas. So we want to explore those. I think after our team's going on break for 2 weeks, so when we come back, we're going to talk a lot about like what the plan is. But yeah, we'd love to hear what you guys think we should make, because we want to do that too.
Yeah, and again, just to expand upon that, we definitely want to hear what you all would like to see as topics for explorations, because I think that especially, like, while we want to incorporate more into the main game, that is more like collected, that's more from collected input that we get from our players over a long period of time. While explorations, it's easier to like dip into a topic that comes up more like more recently from our players. So if there's something that you're really passionate about, spread the word, get other people involved in recommending it, and you might just see it as an exploration in the future. Who knows?
So answer yes, we will do more live events, I think.
Last we talked about it, we're separating it into seasons, so I guess you could say that Pollinators is the end of season 1.
So we're six new ones next year, right, Andrew?
Oh, we're not saying anything yet.
No promises.
No promises. No problem. But yeah, we got no promises. Let's see. There's a lot of other good questions in here. I'll see, like FCP Chris, when is Beyond Phase 2 coming out? Sorry, I love the Beyond. I'm looking forward to Phase 2. Yeah, we love the Beyond 2. We think we did such a great job on that. And but the ending is kind of abrupt. You get to rank 17 and it just ends. So we are also trying to we haven't started development on Beyond Phase 2 yet. Although, well, we did do a little bit, like we're working on allowing you to zoom out to the galaxy level. This has been like a very challenging technical problem because we want you to be able to zoom out and see the whole Milky Way galaxy. We have been working on that technical problem, but we haven't started designing the gameplay for that section. So next year we're thinking about, we might, just because it's taken us so long to get the Beyond Phase 2 out, we might add a prestige. So some players could reset their Beyond progress and keep playing while they're waiting for Beyond Phase 2 content. Because it's still going to be a while before we get that complete. We are, however, planning to add astronomy content next year. So astronomy content will most likely work similar to the reptiles, where the further you are in the Beyond, the more astronomy content you unlock on the main tree. So it encourages players that are not very far in the Beyond to keep playing there. But yeah, I don't know. For players that are at the end of the Beyond, if we made a simple prestige mechanic so you could kind of replay it, is that something you'd like, or would you prefer? I don't know. I guess you'd prefer us just to finish the Beyond Phase 2, but it might be a little longer.
Yeah, I think that's a bigger ticket item, and the civilization gardens in particular have really needed an update for a long time. So I think that's a high priority item for the team right now.
I'm seeing molecules, atoms, and subatomics. Perhaps we had periodic table last time. This time we want to go physics, quarks, and that kind of thing, maybe. interesting
We have,
suggestion.
yeah, we have a lot of good suggestions. One for climate change and one for a rock event. Um,
Yeah, a lot. Hmm.
Yeah, those are awesome. Yeah, the periodic tables and micro or molecules and atoms are that'll yeah. There's a lot of ways we could approach that, but it's a great idea.
Fun to do a
Not
rock cycle. You know, the cycle of rocks would be fun because there'd be some gameplay mechanics in there, some change. There'd be a narrative we can get into there. Just brainstorming, just
yeah, that's
thinking.
a good idea.
and bye, Dr. Bright. Have a good meal. Thank you for hanging out in the chat.
Particle zoo. Yeah.
Let's see, Orange Demon Lord asked for more Easter eggs. Yeah, we love getting Easter eggs in there. Did you see our coin flip achievement? So for the money event, there's a coin that you can get that you can actually flip, and you can actually move around the medieval environment. And there's actually a little surprise if you can get the coin into the cup on the shelf. But other surprises, we have a few more surprises, and we're trying to get those in as we go.
This is a really good question that I don't think we've ever been asked before. Were there any bugs in the game that became features?
Hmm.
I don't know about that. Anytime there was a bug that happened, I usually just remember the team being like, "We gotta fix it."
I don't know if I don't know, bugs that turned into features.
I think we'll have to think about that one. That's a
Yeah,
good
I gotta think
question,
about
though.
that one. A lot of bugs don't go away. There's a lot of bugs there. We are talking about a highly requested feature that we have never done, merging geodes. So collect all geodes button. I am working to get that out before the civilizations starts. So a collect all geode button is on our radar. So hopefully we get that done before the end of January.
Bug that turned into a feature is the bees. The bees turned into a feature.
Oh, right.
Combination of it. It's true.
Counter Terror just wanted to let us know how much they love the game.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That means a lot
Thank
to us. We were able to do what we can at the output that we're doing it at because of players like you. So thank you so much.
Thank you. That feels great. I love to hear that.
Akon's asking, oh no, not Akon. FCP, in the future, will you add clans alliances where you can join and earn rewards? We like that idea a lot. I think we're just starting to think about some light social features. Like I was discussing with Lori about like if we could have like high scores or even some basic scores on the events, so you could see how you rank with other players. And then beyond that is like things like small clans where you can work towards a goal together to get extra rewards. Those are really great ideas. We don't have that planned yet, but it might, depending on where things go, it might happen sometime in the future.
The team insect and team plant contest is kind of those are two clans working
Oh
together.
yeah, don't yeah we yeah if you missed it, we're having a Discord contest to make a tree of either insects or plants.
Yeah, there will be more information about that contest in Discord where it will take place. So if you're not a part of the Discord, I'll add an invite link to it now.
Oh, Aiken Anubis, yeah, thanks for helping us playtest the money event. Yeah, it was I think we did six betas for that one, so thank you for participating in that. It was a real challenge to finish that event.
All right, I think we have time for one or two more questions before we gotta head out, and then we'll share the code.
And Aiken's asking, in the Beyond event, is there a plan to expand the moons with our solar system, maybe focus on Saturn and Jupiter? I'm sure the main. We have so many moons.
We've left out a lot of moons, though. Like, there's a lot of moons in the solar system.
I don't know if we're going to do all the moons there.
It's taxing on the game to have that much information, so unfortunately we kind of have to pick and choose.
It also just gets a little like, all right, here's the 30th moon. So unfortunately, the moons might have to be a little more popular to get in the game. Sorry.
The idea of a leaderboard of the best players is interesting. That might be an interesting thing to do for explorations. But for the whole game, I'm not quite sure because we have a lot of like veteran players, so new players might feel intimidated if they see the leaderboard and they want to compete.
Yeah, that's a huge thing to think about. Yeah, because like it's like I'm in last place because I only started playing yesterday, whereas like someone who's played 3 years, they're the number one.